here at the Roy Jones Jr. Boxing Academy. Andre Ward just got to doing a hard workout, man. It's an honor to see a mastermind train, man. You could just seeing you train, man, gave me chills, man, because you train like a scientist inside his factory, you know, inside his lab. Man, you're just so focused and working on little details. Talk about your relationship with Roy.
Man, it's like surreal that I'm like, you know, here with Roy, side by side with him. I mean, I literally grew up on Roy like as a kid, man, as an 8, 9, 10-year-old. That was my guy, you know, still is my guy. And, I mean, I loved everything about Roy, from the ducktail to the, you know, he did everything wrong right in the ring and got away with it. And he did things his way in the ring, he did things his way outside the ring, and that just attracted me as a kid, man. And I follow Roy like every detail of his career and his life, like since I've been a baby, man. So to be in his facility and to have him embrace me with open arms, it's hard to believe.
Now, what is one memory you've had with Roy, or one word of advice that he's given you that you'll never forget?
One thing I remember about Roy is just always being there. You know, like when I wrote Roy when I was a kid, he was training for Vinny Pazienza, and his lawyer at the time wrote me back and said, man, Roy can't, you know, write you personally, but after the fight, man, next time he fights in Vegas, you know, we want to invite you to the fight. He didn't fight with Roy. Like, one thing, Roy's always been accessible. You know, like when I first reached out to him as a kid, you know, he was training for a fight, and his lawyer wrote me back and said, man, he can't write you personally, but you know, after his fight, he wants to, you know, meet you and you know, get to know you. And a couple years went by, I still followed Roy, but then we ended up having the same manager, James Prince, and that gave me access to Roy's fights and behind the scenes. He just always embraced me, man. I've been around some people, man, and you know, they can be standoffish or, you know, kind of be full of themselves. And Roy, man, is as big of a champion as he was and is, and as big of a legend as he is. He's never shunned me. He's never, you know, been too big for a young guy coming up, man. And I appreciate that, and I've taken from that, and I do the same thing now in my career. Anytime somebody comes up to me and wants to talk to me and get to know me, I try to make time because, you know, they're gonna remember that for a long time.
Yeah, I definitely like that, man. I definitely like the people champ in you, and you know, you've learned that from Roy. Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Obviously, you've been answering those questions. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? I'm not gonna ask you that question because you're probably tired of asking that question. But okay, you're Floyd Mayweather, you're Manny Pacquiao. What do you do fight night? How do you mentally prepare for that, for a fight of that magnitude?
This is it, man. I mean, neither fighter has been in a fight this big. They've been in big fights for sure. Big fights that were close to being this big, but nothing like this. So it's a little different for both guys, still somewhat the same. And I just think, man, that they both had great training camps. They're both making a lot of money. I think this is going to come down to who can execute their game plan and who wants it more. You know, these kind of fights, it's about who executes and who wants it more. And I think with those ingredients, I think we're going to have a great fight Saturday night, and I think it's going to live up to the hype.
Now, are you going to be on commentating?
Yeah, I'm gonna be commentating for the international broadcast. So, man, I'm beyond excited, man. I get to do something I love, like broadcast, and I got one of the best seats in the house. They call one of the biggest, arguably the biggest fight in boxing history. It's just unbelievable.
Well, yeah, everybody go tune in to the international, what is that, at the website or the network?
Nah, it's just international feed, so it's going, you know, it's not going to be in America, but it's going to be everywhere else internationally. So.
Well, if you're internationally and watch this video, man, stay tuned to Andre Ward's commentating, man. I've seen you commentate the Rios Alvarado, man. You're doing a good job. I'm sure after boxing, that's what you're going to be doing.
I hope so.
Word of when's your next fight?
June 20th on BET. Something new, something different. A new team, Rock Nation Sports, at Oracle Arena in Oakland, California. If you can't be there, tune in to BET. I'm fighting Paul Smith, a tough English fighter. He's coming for the upset, and I'm working hard and really grinding to make sure that doesn't happen in front of my hometown fans. So tune in, don't miss it.
Yeah, and you know what, about the Rock Nation, I wanted to ask you, how is that relationship, man? How did you even get with Jay-Z? You're probably the only, their first, yeah, you're their first boxer. That's pretty, I mean, to have Andre Ward as your first boxer, that's insane. I mean, probably have pretty big plans for you.
Yeah, no, my manager James Prince made the introduction. He knows Jay-Z very well. And coming off the lawsuit and different things that I've been going through, I wanted something fresh, I wanted something new. Not the old way of doing things, and that was a perfect fit. You know, after the first meeting, I said, "This is it, Jay. I want to do it." And I mean, Jay-Z is a really, really smart dude, man, and it's going to take them some time to kind of get their feet wet as a whole in the boxing game. But once they do that, if they haven't done it already, they're going to take off, man, and it's going to be unbelievable. And I just want to do my part to represent them right, put on great fights, great performances, and you know, make them feel good about their investment.
Well, Andre Ward, man, it was a privilege seeing you train. It was a privilege talking to you, man. You're such a down-to-earth guy. Very, very nice to me, man. I went up to introduce myself, man. I was like talking to a buddy at first. Thank you.
Part of the fraternity, man. You're part of the family.
And thank you. And I really appreciate that, man. So everybody tune in to Andre Ward's fight in June here at Roy Jones Jr. Boxing Academy. Signing off with Andre Ward.
Thank you, man.